Hello, this is Greg McMurphy. One of the things that we do as an enhancement activity with our classes when they are in session in our training center, we go a week at a time, 40-hour weeks. So one thing we do is use the students' own thoughts to create a review for themselves. We prompt them, of course. We'll give them, like, uh, for instance, with a grounding test, we gave them a list of code sections and said, go write some review questions for these code sessions. So one effective way of gathering up those review questions is to create a Google document. If you create a Google form, this form will be an input device, which will then take data which is input on the form and place it in a spreadsheet. So rather than create that process, I'll just show you when we create it. Here's my third year test review class questions. And the form looks something like this. And this is the live form. Looks just like that. So this is what the student sees. They put in their name, they write in their question or term, and then they write in their answer. And the question or term does have more characters available than what's shown in the box here. I've made all of the fields required, and I make them put their names on it. Keeps things a little more serious. There's a lot more to creating Google Forms, but that's kind of the short and skinny. They push submit, and through the settings, whenever they push submit, they get a refreshed form ready to put more information into. My response sheet looks like this. It's a spreadsheet, and because I've been messing with it, I took a lot of responses out of the top several rows there because we've used this a couple of days in a row, so I moved the first day's responses off to the side. And here are the responses they gave us today. So there are a time date stamp. This is what they put in their name field. This is a question, and that's an answer or definition or response that they want to be the correct question or the correct response. So what do I do here? What I do is I take these responses and I create a exam view test, and with this particular format of question I'm using, I believe that this is a short answer. Yes, it's a short answer question. I've done them with multiple choice. You can take this, I move it into Quizlets at time. If you've ever used Quizlet, I'll probably send you a link to a video about Quizlets. Those are a handy little review tool also, but I'm using an exam view test. And it's really pretty easy. I get into my spreadsheet, I copy a cell, I get back into my answer key. I want to capture their names, so I put that down in the information. And I like keyboard shortcuts, so I'm using Alt Tabs, and I'm Alt Tabbing and tabbing and Control C'ing and Alt Tabbing, just using shortcut keys, Control V'ing, moving down the answer with an Alt A, Alt Tab, Alt Tab, Tab, copy, get back into my question, Control V, record it, make a new one. So you can see it doesn't really take a huge amount of instructor time to gather up their information that they create. Now, admittedly, you probably want to run a spell check and probably want to go through this review with them and make sure they don't have bad answers to questions, or if they wrote really badly worded questions. But I found for the most part they really write pretty good questions because, especially by the time a person gets in third year, they know what kind of format of questions they're going to have to answer on a test, and they're all over making pretty darn good review questions. So I hope that helps someone, another instructor somewhere, as they try to figure out as we have a blended learning system and there's some classroom time that we can spend kind of elaborating and allowing some student-centered learning, this could possibly be a tool that might interest somebody, using a Google form to gather student responses and then creating an exam view test that could then be used as a review tool. There's a lot to learn in exam view itself. You can make tests which are HTML and you can host on a web server and have accessible over the internet. I'll show you what we've done with some of those instructor created quizzes on the internet on another video. Talk to you later.